I'm just saying, they believe they have relinquished that subdivision issue. Is my
They
understanding
got
right?
into a road association which has rules
I'm not,
to them.
I'm
Yeah.
just, I don't have,
I know what
I
they
don't
think
believe it's
they
been
do.
resolved one, I'm just saying from the
Yeah.
second meeting to the first meeting to the second meeting.
Yeah.
Is that
The meeting
roughly?
of the planning board, they didn't have very much information at all. Is it Vanderwerf that has the restriction
Yes,
on it?
the-
They were, the woman that came to the planning board meeting was not the same person that came to the
The
select
first.
board meeting, so that was the first she heard of the road conditions.
We encouraged her at that meeting to actually watch
The
the video.
Yeah.
We
To get a better
provided her with
understanding.
the road
There's
association.
actually 3 different road restrictions,
Yes.
and I gave copies to, I believe you at the town office, to give to whomever. And
So,
the first one is across the railroad tracks. Grover and the other lady own the property from the railroad tracks to the stream. And they only initially signed over a right-of-way to one person, one landowner, and they bought one house. So that extra houses, I didn't know about this a long time ago, got built. But CMP was also, somebody was trying to sell CMP a right-of-way through my front yard by money. And through all these road associations, and they were unable to do it, and then the solar company is there now. It's kind of a really, really long story, but CMP come up, ripped up my yard, and I had to get the sheriffs involved, and CMP tried to pay me off and try to get me to sign off right away to my property. And the Grover and the neighbor across the street, they don't want to give anybody access further for commercial use.
Right.
And from there, it goes into the Vanderwerf Road Association, and it's written in the Vanderwerf Road Association, which I bought my land. Now I'm tied to the Vanderwerf Road Association. It states right in there, no commercial use, and that anybody that owns land, they can only build one house, one garage, and 2 sheds.
so,
So,
Carl, these letters that went out, they went out return receipt, correct? For the planning board?
No, it was just an email notification, but the date on it was wrong.
Okay.
so I sent all this stuff to the solar company, and they know what they said. They're still
Yeah, we said certified mail.
and they said they're still moving forward. So when you get to my driveway, Tone Lane, and I'm not sure Bob Berry, he's on the corner, I'm sure he has significant interest in it, but there's me, Jamie Omo, I'm at the very end. But I bought my house, my property from James Omo, and in my deed, it specifically states that Total Lane, the use of the road is residential use only. And I got a VA loan, and it specifically states, so I don't understand how even a commercial identity can just come by the property and just take over and destroy everything. It doesn't make sense to me. And the whole rezoning, I don't,
Well, the land still isn't zoned for solar.
And we have,
yes, I know it hasn't, but I'm trying to
We're
like
worried that it's
put
going
a stop to it and stop. I don't want to lose my house over this. You know, I don't want to lose the value of my house. We plan on living there for, long into retirement,
so
both from this area.
I'm gonna move that we actually have our town attorney, because this has come up twice now at separate meetings, review.
Yeah, my concern is that it's a private
road.
it's a
But it-
civil issue.
Well, it's come up at the planning board twice. And I'm
No,
concerned,
it's not a private issue if you're gonna rezone it.
Right.
Yes.
No, but we're not taking steps yet to do anything
Yeah.
like
We're
that.
afraid that that's gonna happen.
Yes,
I'm
I
just
keep on
concerned that
missing meetings. I don't want to have
the
them.
email and the
No.
dates and the times have not been accurate.
Well, in this particular instance, they were not on the agenda, correct?
Right.
They were on the agenda.
No,
They were on the agenda.
They were on the agenda as public comment.
public comment, And we had no obligation to notify anybody. Carly did. She attempted to notify people, and there was an error in the notification. I feel it's premature to get the attorney involved.
Yeah.
If the planning board says, yes, let's start exploring a zoning change, yes, certainly. But I don't feel like we're there yet.
So,
A
one of
zo-
my-
a zoning change does not happen without a town meeting enacting.
And 2 formal public hearings.
And there are the formal hearings.
Yeah, we just don't know how it works.
yeah, we,
Yeah.
you know, we're
Well,
not,
and so it actually starts here, that the select board makes a recommendation, should we wish to move forward with it, so that we present it then to the town to vote on it. So it starts with us first, to make the recommendation for consideration.
Is it even possible to rezone a private road, though?
No.
It's a private road.
We
And
can't
that's
do
where
the
all
road
the attorneys-
association.
And that's where I think, that's where I think the attorney, or you should hire an attorney that's to
Oh, we're-
interpret
talking to
that.
several,
It's definitely have come up at several, on both of the planning board meetings that I've been at, and there have been pieces that have not been, I'll say, divulged. And so I don't know where,
but just, you know, you read the state laws, the residential, you can only build one house every so many years or whatever, and everybody moves into a neighborhood, and that's the way how it is. All of a sudden, you get a big out-of-state company come in and just bulldoze everything over. That's kind of,
I think that you have a lot of neighbors that are gonna help you with this and.
yes, well, we're trying to, you know, trying to keep contact. I live at the end of a road out in the middle of the woods for a reason. I'm keeping myself, I guess. I like my privacy, they like their privacy, so we kind of,
So at this point, I think we need to leave it in your hands.
one of the things, though, the reason I was just reading on the solar ordinances, and you read it, the windmill ordinances for future references for the town, where it's a small town. And you read the ordinances for windmills, cell towers, any kind of towers, electrical transfer stations, electrical magnetical fields. It's pretty, each one of those is pretty long and stealthy. And you get to the solar energy systems,
Which are huge right
it's
now.
only 2 pages, and it's basically on residential solar. So the commercial solar thing ought to be kind of updated to
I know that
modern times.
that is one of the ordinance plans. They established, from the planning board, they established only this rules for residential use of solar,
Yes,
because that was at the time a request to engage as a power source. It was not, and they did not address the commercial development piece to that ordinance.
yes, it's kind of how I read it,
So-
So
so,
it needs, they're working on establishing what that is, but at this point, the ordinance has not been, and we have not seen it at the select board, which again, it starts with us and then moves forward.
okay.
And let me assure you that there is no change in a zone without a town meeting.
Yes,
So what happens on private roads is up to the people who own that private road.
yes,
That's an internal issue for you all to deal with. The zoning issue is a public issue, and that is going to be dealt with in public.
yes. I just,
I understand how vulnerable you feel.
And we can't
I'm just worried,
make
you know,
you
with
feel better.
larger companies, they go ahead and do stuff, well, we'll
Well,
worry about it
they
later.
can't do it
Yeah.
without it starting here.
Yes, that's what I figured, that's
So
why.
that, so we, and so we're not gonna grant access
Yes,
without a town meeting. We
yes,
can only make a recommendation and the town has to vote on it, and we haven't even gotten that far.
And we encourage
You're not gonna grant
you loud and
access.
clear.
We can't
No,
grant,
so you just,
we can't
the town,
change any ordinance, we
Yeah.
can't. I
the
don't
town
think
can't
it's-
grant
we-
access.
But we can't even, we haven't even made a decision to move forward with an ordinance.
yes.
We haven't written it, started it, from that perspective, so that it starts here as a recommendation.
Okay.
Should we do that, and then it goes to the town to vote on?
Yes.
And it's not just Mr. Jones. From what I saw from supportive people that were here, you've got a
It's like
whole-
15 different.
Yeah.
Yes, well, it's all the neighbors, I don't know if you guys been down that road, it's pretty private, pretty secluded, and everybody, you know.
Well, it's also my understanding where they're trying to build a solar farm, that it has a substantial pitch for
Yes.
access
Yes.
at the end, so I don't think,
So another thing, keep in mind, there used to be the old Bath water tower up there, and I don't know what the supply of water was, but, you know, they get the water from somewhere, and obviously that was good water on top of the hill. I don't wanna wake up with a water tower there, but, you know, someday in the future, the water system up there could be supplying the town for West Bath. And, you know, you probably don't wanna ruin our water thing, I don't know.
Grasping.
well, no,
Yeah.
I get it, it's, home is your harmony,
Yeah.
I get it.
But rest assured, from the initial meeting,
Yeah.
the abutters are more in agreement with you than not.
Yes.
We encourage the Norwich to look at watch the first video, because it was contentious.
I talked to, I forget her name, Martha. She was at the last meeting. I talked to her, she knew about it. She watched the meeting, so. Prior to last meeting.
Are you coming to the plan, has it been brought, Carly, what's for the agenda of the planning board? I know that's, okay.
Yeah, it was,
I don't know what's been scheduled for next week.
well, they wouldn't be going to the planning board anyway. At this point, the planning board kicked it back and said they need to present to the selectmen, because they can't make any decisions on it. And that hasn't happened.
And it's not on our agenda.
So, thank you, that's why we're here. That's all we got.
Well, it was, what they did, if you're gonna, their interpretation was by buying that parcel, they granted them some sort of access. And that was stated, if you pull up the recording from that meeting, the planning board meeting,
Yes.
I think you could hear what was discussed there, and that would be your stepping stone to share with your attorney on what their interpretation of that land purchase was.
Yes.
If we build a house, we'll be happy to have him as a neighbor.
Yes.
Just,
lots of solar
it'll give you an idea of where their mindset is my point.
Okay.
Okay, I would like
Thank
to
you.
make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? And again, thank you, Mr. Jones, Mr. Sweeney, we appreciate you guys attending.
Thank you for just stopping in and not even wanting to comment. We
That's
welcome
the best
people.
thing.
I hope it was all that you wanted.